I'm here today with none other than Edwin Dapaah.
You know what it is, I'll go on.
So we're going to jump right into it. Who's Edwin Dapaah?
So Edwin Dapaah is me, and Edwin Dapaah, my full name. And I'm just another young guy, just an artist from Mississauga, and I just want to really inspire people with my music and keep showing people what I can do and show my versatility throughout my music.
And being from Mississauga, do you think that gives you, like, what are the advantages you think that might actually entail for you, being from Mississauga, being a Mississauga musician? Because most of the time, people are always like, oh, I'm from the States, I'm from Toronto, so, like,
right.
How do you think that makes you different?
I feel like the advantage that makes me different is that I don't really have to be, like, secluded to a certain sound, because, like, everyone knows how Toronto has, like, a certain sound that it has right now.
For sure.
Like, trap and the rap wave. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, I feel like with me, it's, like, being from Mississauga, it's, like, it gives me that, I don't really have an umbrella that people will automatically put me under with my name already. So I can sort of make my own thing and do my own thing, which I feel is, like, perfect for me, because I'm able to show, like, my versatility throughout my music, as I said before. So, yeah.
For sure, absolutely. And what situation or person made you realize that music is what you wanted to do?
I feel like I got a big shout out to my friends. Shout out to like Omar, Khalil, Abdul, Tarek, like everyone in the group, yo. And it's just like all of them just like one time, like in a few summers ago, I want to say 2017 summer, like, we would just like chill in Omar's car and we would just like start freestyling and rapping and stuff. And like my friends just said that like they seemed like I really had like a talent for it and a skill for it. And I would go home and I would freestyle. And like, they just told me like, yo, why don't we try it? And then we ended up buying an interface and buying a mic and recording, and like everything just sort of came along with it.
So you're like the literal like definition of like made at home from scratch artist.
Exactly. Yeah, like I make songs in my basement to this day right now. It's like I don't be going to any like studios or anything. It's like it's from my basement. It's like it's just me.
Which really is a testament to how much we can create now without having to, go to a label or like go spend a bunch of money at an expensive studio or something.
Like the label would be like a gatekeeper now, and it's like now that the gatekeeper is almost eliminated now, and I can just like make my music in my basement, and I use DistroKid, my distributor, and they can just send it off to Spotify, and it's like it's awesome. It's
awesome,
like,
yeah,
it's
for
neat.
sure.
It's really neat, yeah.
So, can you describe your personal journey as an independent artist? I'm gonna ask you two full questions, but that's the first part of it.
Yeah, sure. So my journey, I guess would say it's pretty early, and it's just like right now it's like everything is usually me and like my friends at TT, also with Zaim as well too, my producer and my engineer. And it's like with me and Zaim and TT, it's like all of us, it's like when we produce music and we go through the creative process of it, it's like it's really something that's like beautiful, because it's like it's all of us contributing to this. And I don't really, as I said, I don't really go to studios or anything like that, but like for example, let's say on YouTube, I find like beats and stuff, and I'll hit up the producer, I'll buy a lease for it, and then, or I'll buy the beat itself, and then I can just work on the beat, and then I send it off to Zaim, and he just mixes it and masters it.
It makes the magic.
Yeah, that's where all the magic happens, yeah.
Cool. And what advice do you have for independent artists, even though it's very new for you, I know, but
Right.
What would you say is a valuable lesson or a valuable piece of advice that you'd give somebody?
I feel like for everyone, it's that before you go into a deal with a record label, you really have to think about the benefits for you, right? It's like you can see a whole bunch of money coming towards you and think that like, this is the be all and end all, and like, wow, I finally made it. But it's like, you should really try to hold on to your, like, your creative, what's the word I'm looking for?
Properties?
Like, yeah, your property, exactly. Like your integrity of it almost, and it's like hold on to it as much as you can, because like you don't have to really like conform into anything, and you can be yourself really. And it's like what I would just say is that is continue staying on your grind and make sure that it's like if you really do eventually do sign a deal, make sure that it's really gonna benefit you and not just the record label. And like even think in case, for example, what happens if your music doesn't do as well, and it starts petering off a little bit.
And then you owe them money.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you end up
Your
in a
life's
pretty
on the
bad
line.
situation. Yeah. And it's like you're dangling on the line now, and it's like I feel like it really is beneficial to try to hold on to being independent as much as possible. Or even if you do sign a deal, make sure that not too much of yourself is being given away. Like always have leverage to be able to use.
That actually was explained perfectly. That reminds me of in Solange's album, Master P talks about how the record labels wanted to offer him $2 million, and he was like, well, shit, if like this white man's gonna pay me $2 million, like imagine how much I can make on my own, and like look at him now, he's a legend, right? So really, I think that's something it's great that you know that, and I think it's super important that a lot of independent artists know that as well.
Thank you.
So take us through your creative process from start to finish, because I know everyone has a process. Some people have, you know, they get all emo, they close all the lights, put candles on, or like, you know, what do you do to like get everything out?
Honestly, I don't be doing really anything special like that. It's like, not that I think at least, but it's like, what I just do is just like, I'll just be like, if I find a beat, and then I'll start freestyling over it, and then I'll start thinking something like, you know, like I say, I'll play a beat and I'll be like, oh, you gotta show that you're worth it. I'm seeing money so perfect, and then I'll stop and I'll be like, okay, this part's nice, and then let's say I don't like the last part, and then I'll cut that part off, and then I'll freestyle again, and then once eventually I get in the rhythm of it, then I'll just start writing, and then I'll just like say it over the song and see how it is, and then do that again and again and again, and then eventually I come up with the final product of the song, and then like usually near the end of the song or whatever, I'll see if I want to add a few background vocals, if I want to add a sample, or even if I want to just like get someone else to do it even too, or even add in like ad-libs and stuff, and then it's just like, that's pretty much my creative process.
So you would say pretty much it's the music will, like the beat will come first, and then kind of what you're feeling will come afterwards.
Exactly, and then like I'll just hit up Zaim and I'll be like, yo, like maybe add reverb to this part, add a little bit of delay, and like I've been really messing with that recently on Ambivalence. You can see like on songs like Outro, for example, or Poolside. It's like they have like these like parts that it's like you can see the delay and the reverb, and it's like, I don't know, I just really liked how it sounded, and like I've been experimenting with that more. So hopefully more of that in the future. You never know.
That's a great segue into my next question. So your EP is called Ambivalence.
Yeah, it is.
So what was the reason behind the name? Because the word is actually a very interesting word. I do like that word. I enjoy it. But what drew you to that word specifically to title your album?
So ambivalence is like having two contradicting or two differing opinions on something, right? So it's like, I felt like for me that was perfect, because in ambivalence in songs like, for example, like Poolside and Outro and even Rockin', it's like you can tell that like I'm talking about like someone, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna mention no names. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Nobody does.
No one is like, yeah, I'm just keep that private. You know, like some people know about it. If you know about it, you know, just make sure we keep that low key. That's us, you know. But like, yeah, sometimes I have different opinions on someone, and it's like I feel like someone or something, and like for example, I'll be like, a good example would be school. Like school, I have differing opinions on it. It's like I like school that in the sense that, you know, it gives me a backup just in case music doesn't work out, or even with music helping me to market myself. School's helped really like a lot with that, right? And it's like with that, or even with like, and then also at the same time too, just seeing it's like, you know, like doing assignments and tests and all this stuff is a drag because it takes me away from music, and I'm able to put less time into, like, you know, what my heart desires.
Absolutely.
But I feel like also too towards people, sometimes I have mixed feelings towards people. Like for example, like previous partners or whatever, it would be like, you know, it's like maybe some days I'll be like, yo, like I really, really want this person to be here with me and experience this with me. And other times I'll be like, yo, it's like this person's like, you know, they play me for a fool. Like I don't want to be with them. And it's like it's a mixed feeling of sometimes like, you know, do I love them? Do I hate them? And it's like, that's why I feel like ambivalence would be like the perfect name for it. And I just like, I had a few, actually sometimes in my phone notes I actually write down, I'll be like, yo, alright, so like, this sounds like a cool album cover, this sounds like a cool EP cover. And it's like for like when I just had the collection of songs and I just thought of ambivalence and I looked over ambivalence on it, I was like, yo, this fits like perfectly.
I think it's a perfect name for it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, I appreciate it.